皆さんこんばんは。私はクリスです。今日も一日お疲れ様でした。ご視聴ありがとうございます。Welcome back to my channel. For today's reaction video, I am watching a YouTuber was surprised after visiting Japan and China. The video is from this channel. It was suggested by this viewer. Thank you so much for your suggestion. では早速始めましょう。
Chinese tourists screaming on mountain. You've just got to be prepared for people. Do you know why we're not as blown away? Because it's incredibly noisy. I don't want to do anything. It's too much.
いつも中国が大好きだったというカップル YouTuber がいます。彼らは大きな期待を胸に中国へ旅行に出発します。周囲に止められたものの、彼らは長年夢見ていた旅行をするために中国へ飛び立ちました。
We are going to China. We're in our first Chinese restaurant.
Just have a bite.
中国到着して最初の食事をしたとき、何か違和感を覚えます。期待していた料理とは程遠いものでした。おかしかったのはこれだけではありません。道を歩いても、どこへ行っても、人々が自分たちを露骨にじろじろ見てきます。
The only thing that's strange to me is that we are getting stared at.
居心地の悪さを感じ、朝早くから行動を始めることにします。
I'm getting a bit tired of early mornings. We've had a lot of them here in China, but unfortunately, due to the crowds, most of the time for distractions, you gotta get up early to beat the crowds, and every single time.
しかし無駄でした。C 国にはいつどこでも常に大勢の人で溢れており、彼らは常に遠巻きに観光地を眺めることしかできませんでした。
Not see anything.
Oh. It's crazy busy. We're just gonna have to squeeze our way through. I have just been shoved with elbows, like in my waist, shoved to try and get a main viewpoint. I don't know if the other pits will be probably the most hellish tourist site I've ever been to so far. So far.
カップルは念願だった張家界に行くことにします。夢にまで見た瞬間なので皆ワクワクしていましたが、ここでも何か違和感を覚えることになります。
Nice
I gotta say, it's pretty sick, but we're not as blown away as we thought we'd be.
But do you know why we're not as blown away? Because it's incredibly noisy. There's so many people.
It's just insane.
You've just got to be prepared for people. The noise thing got to me today. I think Mount Hua was big enough that it didn't really impact it, but this was
It's tough.
tough, yeah. All right. Chinese tourists screaming on mountains when it should be a very insular experience. I just thought that was so interesting. Us Europeans would go to a mountain for solitude, and maybe that speaks to the history here of communism. We're at the hot pot restaurant, and I noticed as soon as I walked in I couldn't really breathe properly, and it's because everyone is smoking cigarettes. I don't understand how this is still a thing. I'm burnt out and I don't want to do anything. It's too much.
結局 YouTuber はこの全てに耐えきれず心が折れてしまいます。中国旅行であまりにも大きな失望を味わったカップル YouTuber はアジア旅行を諦めようとしましたが、すでに購入済みの航空券があったため仕方なく予定通り日本にやってきました。
Our minds shifted to stillness. It was actually a very special experience and one that Tim and I won't forget. We're in downtown Kyoto, and it is one of the most magical places we've both ever been, I think. Would you agree?
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's just incredible to get a glimpse of what historic Japan might have looked like. I don't know if you can make out, but on the other side of the bank are historic looking wooden houses framed by the sakura, and I honestly can't really believe it. I am so excited. We have arrived at a traditional ryokan. We've just got back from an evening onsen, and now we are ready for bed in our traditional ryokan. We're on our futons on the floor, and it is surprisingly comfortable.
It's very nice.
カップルは中国旅行中ずっと食事に悩まされ続け、日本での食事はどうかと期待します。
So we're going to bring you along to this experience and see if Kobe beef
is worth the hype, but more importantly, this is Japanese wagyu with garlic and wasabi. Oh my god. No, I can't. That's so good. That's amazing.
Yeah?
You have to try that.
Wow, it just melts. Like, it dissolves. Wow.
Oh my god.
It was actually absolutely incredible. I'm really glad we tried it. We spent a lot of money, but it was worth it.
What are we doing in Fukuoka? Why did we go there actually? What was the recommendation?
Ramen.
The birthplace of ramen.
Bon appetit.
Ichiran Fukuoka. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. We both agree. We both love their ramen. Best ramen we've had in Japan so far.
映像を通して食事を楽しめて本当に良かったと繰り返し語ります。
We are here at Himeji Castle and it is nothing short of spectacular. Behind me you can see the original castle, which mostly dates to around 1601 to 1609. The most amazing fact is that this castle has survived earthquakes, wars, and also extensive bombing of World War II, which actually destroyed most of this that you can see. Definitely worth a visit.
We just found out that actually castles like the Nijojo castle here behind me have not relied on any mortar or other adhesives to build their stone walls. It's actually all just dry stone. It's built using a technique called ishigaki. The rest is literally just stones on a brick wall stuck together. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
元中国大使館職員だった男性は日本で3年間暮らして自分が感じた違いを語ってくれます。
The first thing I noticed after moving to Japan was the incredible level of politeness. And I had always thought of the UK as a polite country, but the Japanese take things to an absolutely whole new level. My mum came over to visit and she was in a wheelchair, and on many occasions people just went out of their way to help her. We went into a Starbucks and the girl came from behind the till. She ran out, opened the door, helped me get my mum inside. And this is just one of many instances where people are incredibly polite in Japan. I always saw the UK as a polite country before, but after coming back from Japan, this had changed because they had set the bar to a completely new level. The second amazing thing about Japan is the degree of service. It doesn't matter if you're in a McDonald's, if you're in a Starbucks, if you're in a public toilet, wherever you may be, the people working there take pride in their jobs, take their work very seriously, give you incredible service, and this really puts the UK to shame. When you come back to the UK, people don't seem to enjoy their jobs, they're badly presented, they don't have any enthusiasm, and especially in the service industry, they give you a very bad customer service experience. So in Japan, this was amazing. The level of service is truly excellent, and it kind of puts the UK to shame by comparison. The third point, which is somewhat related, is the Japanese work ethic, and you see this across all sectors and areas, as I said, whether it's in the service industry, even in McDonald's, or whether it's with tradesmen, skilled manual laborers, in companies, wherever you are, there is just an intense work ethic, and it's very impressive. And by comparison, the UK looks pretty slovenly. The UK work ethic looks very weak compared to Japan. And that's not really a criticism of the UK in some ways, because to be honest, apart from maybe Germany, pretty much anywhere in the world is going to look like it has a pretty slovenly work ethic compared to Japan. The fourth point is somewhat related to the last, and that is the level of discipline in Japan. People are extremely disciplined, and you see this even with little children walking to school in winter in shorts. They wear shorts all year round. They are tough. There is a level of toughness in the country, and it is impressive. And this goes throughout the whole society, and it comes across in some of the areas that I also talked about, like the service industry and stuff. People are well presented, well turned out. They have standards. It's related to a high level of standards across the country, and that goes for personal presentation, personal hygiene, how people conduct themselves. There is a high standard across the country, and also it's interlinked with this high level of personal discipline, which I very much respect. And by comparison, the UK most definitely is not disciplined. It is pampered. It is spoiled by a government which gives out a lot of benefits. It looks weak, unhealthy, badly presented, slovenly. So I really think the level of discipline that they have in Japan is something that's very admirable. The fifth striking comparison between the UK and Japan is the level of safety. I went to Tokyo on my first trip to Japan and I saw all these cell phones on the table in Starbucks and I didn't understand what that was about. I couldn't understand why people wouldn't just be snatching them up and running off with them like they would do probably in London. And it was people were putting down their cell phones to actually hold their place while they went up to get their drink. So people were using cell phones as placeholders even in the capital city, in Tokyo. So this is kind of an incredible eye-opener for me, and the level of personal safety in Japan is really amazing. The sixth comparison is to do with cleanliness, and this is related again to levels of standard, discipline, work ethic, all that kind of stuff. Cleanliness in Japan is incredible. I would get up in the morning and go for a run to the gym, and I would see people up at 5, 6 a.m. hosing down the pavements outside their shops and their apartments, cleaning the pavements, cleaning the sidewalks, and just keeping the place very tidy. You would often see older people weeding public hedgerows and green areas, cleaning out ditches. It's all linked to this level of social cohesion and discipline and personal standards. And it just makes the place extremely clean, very well maintained, and it makes it a pleasure to be there. And by comparison, the UK looks like an absolute dump, especially recently, where councils are not giving money to even cut hedgerows or collect garbage. This makes it even more striking, the comparison between the UK and Japan in terms of cleanliness, whether you're talking about public toilets, even restaurants, whatever it is. The UK looks grubby and dirty to many countries by comparison, but even more so to Japan, which is probably the cleanest country in the world and has the highest standards for cleanliness.
いかがでしたか？ぜひコメント欄で今回の動画の感想やご意見を聞かせてください。今日もご視聴いただきありがとうございます。
Thank you so much for the video. I'm a subscriber of your channel. Let's talk about smoking. You know, I'm a non-smoker person, so I really don't like the smell of the smoke. I don't know, it just gives me headache. I understand there's a non-smoking area and a smoking area, but you know, some people here in my place, even if it's a non-smoking area, people are still smoking, or even while driving. Well, again, another cultural differences issue. Of course, it's understandable. You can compare your country to Japan. I hope this beautiful culture of Japan would remain the same, even though over-tourism is now happening in Japan. I hope their beautiful culture will be preserved and continue to inspire people. Well, anyway, I would like to thank the uploader of the video. Thank you so much. I'm a subscriber of your channel. To my viewer who suggested the video, thank you so much. To all my viewers, gosicho arigatou gozaimashita. また次回お会いしましょう。おやすみなさい。